What is up, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Dudes Who Bet Sports.
So you want to bet sports, but you need some advice on how to cash in big at a heck of a price. Well, if you want enough money to line your shorts, then you're in the right place. This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dudes Who Bet Sports show. We're here with you on a Monday evening, and we got a lot to cover. Of course, racing is going to take center stage a little bit on the show today. We'll also talk a little bit about the NBA playoffs and sneak in a little hockey talk as well. Before we do, Papa Dude, how was the weekend?
Hey, it was great. I'm not as good as yours, I don't think, but it was good. I imagine you're a little weary today, probably. Took a quick trip up to Lexington, and I guess you got back yesterday, so it was kind of a dash up there and a dash back, right?
It definitely was. It was great to be there. Of course, we woke up Saturday morning to snow.
Yeah.
Yes, snow. At one point, there was a Starbucks kind of across the street from the hotel. Could barely see the Starbucks. That's how hard it was snowing. But everything went very well. It was freezing cold at the racetrack, windy, cold, really not great weather-wise. But then the next day, it was beautiful. Jared and I went and ate pizza and sat outside and ate before we left at Lexington. So great day still, though. If you've never been to Keeneland, definitely suggest it. Just such a fun place, a festive place. People just love horse racing and love to be there and love to be at that track. Good times. Saw a pretty good race. Saw a great performance in Golden Pal in the sprint there, Shakertown. That was awesome. And of course, the Bluegrass was great as well. So, yeah, we had a really good time, and now we're back. And I guess the next trip is back to Kentucky.
Back to Kentucky, yeah.
Or Louisville and Churchill Downs. So
that'll be great.
Yeah, that will be great. So, all right, Papa Dude, what did you do? Did you do anything before we start? Anything fun?
On the weekend?
Yeah.
No, we're probably going to go away somewhere this weekend.
Ooh.
So we kind of just chilled out, and I watched all the races because I knew we were going to comment on them today. So no, we're trying to decide where to go this weekend. I think we may head down to Oaklawn because it seems like the weather is going to be better down there. We wanted to go to Omaha to see that zoo in Omaha, and some of you viewers may have seen it. I've been there once. Sandy's never been. Incredible zoo, but it's a little bit cold. In Omaha this weekend. It's going to be in the mid 50s with some north wind. I don't know if that's good zoo weather, So we're trying to figure out what we're going to do.
Not that you need to be convinced to go to Oaklawn Park on a beautiful Saturday, but
right.
I will tell you.
Yes,
I'm sure I don't know if you've seen the entries or not. Jackie's Warrior is back.
I know.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well.
Yep. I'm thinking that's probably where we'll end up. I think we're going to do a Friday, Saturday.
Well, you'd have to do it Friday, Saturday. That's only 2 days they run. It's Easter on Sunday. So.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're absolutely
yes. Yeah. Russ chimes in. Went there for the College World Series. I've always heard that's pretty cool. Omaha and the College World Series, when they go hand in hand like that. I've heard it's really neat to be
right. Used to the old ballpark was right by the zoo. In fact, they still have part of that old ballpark. They got a foul pole right in the parking lot where the zoo is. Now they built a brand new stadium downtown. Beautiful. New facility. They have a minor league baseball team there too. And but a lot of people that are nostalgic miss the old stadium that was right out there by the zoo. And by the way, that I'm telling you, if you like zoos and you get a chance to go, do it. It is a unique zoo. It really is.
Mm-hmm. And Russ said the Hogs did not win, but he still had a good time. And the Hogs have had success in Omaha in the past.
I believe Kevin, my brother and your uncle, I believe they went up there to follow the Razorbacks once.
Seems like once or maybe even twice they went up and saw that. I saw the Razorbacks play.
Now there's not much else to see in Omaha. I
wouldn't think.
No, it's not a lot.
Yeah. Now, of course, Derby action and Derby fever is live. Matt Duchamp opened up the comments. He says Charge It will win the Derby. Florida Derby runner-up. He's on Charge It. I saw Matt commenting on the Magic Mike show a little bit earlier today. If you missed that, you can check that out. It's on the YouTube page now. And Matt was talking about Charge It on that. I was in the comment section there with him, and that was a lot of fun. Betty Ann confirms they did. They went and watched Texas. They only went once. But yes, College World Series in Omaha. So
That's
pretty cool. I would like to go as well. It's kind of in a weird time, like a weird time for me. But yeah, I would like to go for sure.
It is, and unfortunately, we don't support a team that ever gets there.
Correct.
Sooners haven't made it too much. Now, the softball team, by the way, and we'll just mention this real quick. This is a sports show. The Oklahoma Sooner softball team is 36-0. First of all, that's incredible. To win 36 games and lose none in softball or baseball is pretty incredible. They have ruled 30 of those 36 wins. So very few games have went 7 innings that they've played. And if you get to say, well, they haven't played anybody, yes, they have. They've played UCLA. They've played Tennessee. They've played some good teams. Now, the goofy Oklahoma fans, and I'm one of them, are a little upset because I believe they were ranked number 2 maybe last week.
Yeah, as Pedlo points out, a couple of voters have them in number 2, yes.
Okay, Pedlo, listen up. If you ask Patty Gasso right now, if she wants to go into the postseason undefeated, her answer will be emphatically no.
Yeah.
You don't want to be undefeated. You want to get beat.
Yeah.
You don't want that added pressure on you. And if you ask her if she's okay with number 2, she's going to say, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's the only ranking that matters is where you finished at the end of the year. So all you fans, we know we're the best team. We know that. We've proven it. We've won 4 or 5 national championships. I think we've won the last 2 in a row, maybe. We don't have to prove anything. Just shut your mouth. Keep blowing people away. And when you get beat, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's going to happen. And you need it to happen.
Pedlo saw the tweet, Papa Dude. Papa Dude's main hobby is to get on there and not bash, but go back and forth with the OU media. And
that's just ridiculous. I mean, we know we're the best team.
Pedlo came in here to troll Papa Dude. That's what I love about that.
That's fine. I'm glad you did because I really wanted to bring that up. This is an incredible. I've seen the Sooners play several times in person. I am awed every time I go. They are tremendous. They are just a machine. And now they play Texas this weekend in Austin. Now, you fans, are you going to just kill yourself if Texas beats them once?
Yeah,
no,
we will.
Let's hope we win 2 out of 3. That's my goal. Then you got that loss, and now we can kind of rest a little bit because.
Well, look, they're going to lose. They're eventually going to lose a game. And you hope it's not one that you really need to win in the College World Series. So
right.
Yeah.
You don't want that added pressure. Don't forget, last year we went into that World Series. I think we'd lost 3 games all year, and we got beat in the very first game and had to come through the losers bracket and win about 6 or 7 games to win the dang thing. That's too hard. Yeah. Can't do that 2 times in a row. So they are awesome. I love to watch them. Sandy and I are definitely going down later on. I think they play Oklahoma State at home, and that's another team that's a super team. And we're going to get down there because it is fun to go.
Yeah, and you can go down to beautiful Oklahoma City if they make it to the college or the Women's College Softball World Series in Oklahoma City. And by the way, if you've watched Mike Somich and I's video about small tracks, Remington Park, just right across the way from the College Softball World Series. So you can kind of pull a double header there. I think.
Go ahead, Eric. Go ahead.
They're running quarter horses during that time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun to go over there.
It is. I was going to mention, too, you said something about, I forget what it was a bad time of the year for you. Oh, the College World Series for the boys. Well, the College World Series for the girls is a bad time for me too, because they play during the week. Some of those games are during the week. Now I know I am retired, but I come out of retirement in the summer to teach driver's ed.
Yeah.
And so I'm busy a lot of that time. And I am a jinx. I've gone twice and I've lost twice. So I'm staying away from it.
Speaking of Mike Somich, he gives you advice. If you're going to go to the College World Series, sounds like he has. He says it's awesome. The tailgate is wild. Just bring a T-shirt from each school that is in it, and you'll eat like a king.
Very good. Very nice. That's good. Good stuff.
All right, let's get into it here, guys. I know everybody's probably tuned in to kind of talk about the Kentucky Derby and what we saw this weekend, and also the NBA playoffs as well. We'll save the NBA for a little bit later, and let's talk about what happened on the Derby Trail. You and I both sat here on Thursday and previewed these, and we said the Santa Anita Derby is the one. That's the race. That's the race that's going to produce something. I think we were right. You texted me right after the race. You said, I think I saw the Kentucky Derby winner. So I'm going to let you kick it off. I think you've got your Derby horse. Tell us who it is and why.
You know how I feel about Andy Serling.
Uh-oh.
I think he made the dumbest statement I've ever heard today.
Okay.
He said, I don't know if he saw it on Twitter or not. He said, he just didn't think they ought to run Taba in the Kentucky Derby. It's not good for the horse. What kind of bullshit is that? What is he trying? I guess he's just trying to stir up controversy, I guess.
I don't know with him on that one. I'll jump in and say, look, it's very tough to ask a horse to go from a 6 furlong maiden and then to a 1.125 Santa Anita Derby and then to a 1.25 Kentucky Derby. But I'll also jump in and say, let's deal with reality.
Yeah.
You're not going to not run this horse in the Kentucky Derby.
That's why you run horses.
Yeah.
If you've got one that can win the Kentucky Derby, aren't you an idiot if you don't send him up there? What kind of an asinine statement was that? Anyway, if you'll recall on Thursday, I did not have any confidence in this horse at all because he'd only run once, and I'm one of these guys, I got to see it. Well, I saw it. And a lot of people, I've a lot of more bashing you, and because you made a comment that you think Taba's I think you ranked him number 1 now, right? On your list.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are coming after you. Well, now, wait a minute. Let's look at this. Was Forbidden Kingdom and Messier not rated pretty highly before this race? Weren't they?
Yeah. Oh,
And
absolutely.
didn't they just get their ass handed to them by this horse?
Yes. Yes.
Well, doesn't it make sense that maybe this horse might be pretty good?
I would think it makes a lot of sense that this horse is pretty darn good.
Now, we can't pick him yet.
Yeah.
Because we don't know the post he's going to get. We don't know, but we know what we can see. Can't you? I mean, I have to trust my eyes. I'm not an expert by any stretch. I thought he was beat.
Yeah.
And he sucked Forbidden Kingdom under like Forbidden Kingdom was a $5,000 claimer.
Right.
And Messier both.
Mm-hmm.
And then Messier just running his butt off. And the next thing I know, Messier is eating dirt.
Yeah.
From Taba. That was his impressive stretch run, half a stretch run, I guess, that I've seen in a long time. I'm on him too. And then we get the ones, well, look at the short field and all that. I kind of think there's some pretty good horses that have come out of the Santa Anita Derby. And I'm with you. I like him. Now, am I saying there's others that can't win? No, not saying that. But isn't there a horse named Justify that didn't run very often either?
Yeah.
So I don't understand some of this stuff.
Well,
people.
It's the worst 4 weeks of the year because this is what's going to happen for 4 weeks. It's why we do an article every year called "Why We Hate Your Derby Horse," because everybody hates every horse right now.
That's true,
except for the one they're going to pick. And if you don't pick their horse, you're dumb, and that's how it is, and that's how it's been for years. Something you're seeing for the first time since you're around for the Derby for the first time, and this happens every year. Okay, look, Taba. I was watching this horse on the backside, and I thought, boy, he's just not going to run. He was third. He wasn't up there very close.
Well, yeah, because we thought he was going to be in the front.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, it was too much too quick. They were right. They probably shouldn't have done it. And so they round the corner, and you could tell Forbidden Kingdom. By the way, an entrapped epiglottis for Forbidden Kingdom. Yes, he stopped, but he couldn't breathe. So that was part of it.
All right,
but,
we'll go with that.
But Messier turns the corner and you could tell that's not going to be a problem to put Forbidden Kingdom away. You scan back, you don't really see anybody. Then all of a sudden, you see the nose of Taba. And I looked at Jared. We're sitting at Keeneland watching this on the screen. I looked at Jared and I said, he's running. He's making a move. We didn't think he was making any move. I said, this could get interesting. But you get halfway down the stretch, and it's like he's going to run a monster race and get second because he just wasn't making up enough ground. Man, Mike Smith went left-handed on this horse, and it was over. He went and got him, and he galloped out. And this wasn't a nose win, a neck win, a half length. No. It was 2 1/4. He put that horse away.
I thought he was pretty impressive.
To me, the wheels could fall off of this horse trying to do too much too quick. But from a talent standpoint, wow, he's got it. This was impressive. So we gushed over him all weekend, with Jared and I and the Monique and Paul that was with us, just really gushed on him all weekend. But let's talk, and I know you and I kind of text back and forth did the same. Let's talk about Messier a little bit. The scary thing is, did we overrate Messier a little bit? And did that make Taba look a little better than what he is? I think that's kind of my biggest question. What did you think of how Messier?
Well, I mean, we can always possibly do that.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. And, I see all the comments, and you're absolutely right. Don't take this the wrong way, but all of us have two things. We have assholes and we have opinions.
Yep.
We all have two assholes. We're all assholes and we all have opinions.
Right.
And we all are assholes and we all have opinions. So everybody's got a different opinion. Yeah. And that's what makes sports so fun. We could have sat and argued last Monday night on Kansas and North Carolina, because that's all of us see it different. So to me, from what I've seen, and I'll have to go back and watch Epicenter again, but guys, you can't really sit and I don't think you can compare racetracks. I just don't think you can. You just, the horse just runs, and you got to go with what you see. How you doing, Alfred? Good to see you. You mentioned assholes, and Alfred pops up. So the greatest guy, one of the greatest all time. I don't think so. I mean, I just think this horse might be one of those rare ones. He showed it, but a lot of you guys, you watch it a lot more than I do. So I'm not going to just, go on and on about it, because I may be making a fool of myself. I don't know.
No, I don't think you are. And I think here's the problem. If you're gonna pick Taba, you do have to hope for a really good post, right? Because with this experience, he needs to be out away from the horses. To me, he needs to get a wide post, not 20, obviously, like 12. That would be perfect for him. There's a lot to unfold with the post positions, but he's done enough off these 2 races to say he's got a big time shot to win this thing. So,
well, somebody made the comment, there's 20 horses in the race. Well, it's not just Taba that's going to have to deal with 20 horses in the race.
Yeah.
There ain't none of them race with 20 horses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, the deal is, guys, I've heard him say, he is going to have so much, if he gets in trouble in the Derby, it's over. If he gets in trouble, forget it. He won't respond. Here's the news flash. It doesn't matter if a horse is ran twice or 6 times or 10 times or 12 times. Trouble in the Kentucky Derby 99 times out of 100 means you're effed. You can't overcome it.
And it doesn't matter whether you've run 2 races. I think is what you're saying, whether you've run 2 or 100.
No, if you get pinched in the Derby and get shuffled back to 12th, and
there's 20 damned horses out there. How are you going to avoid it?
You have to be very lucky. And the way you have a better chance to avoid it is to draw further to the outside if you're a horse like Taba.
Yeah.
And so it's scary for any horse, right? And the thing about it is he's broke pretty well both times he's started so far. So he's passed the test, man. And that test last week, I kind of said the same kind of things that people are saying now about him in the Derby. It's like, it's too much, it's too quick. He's got to beat the tough horses, but gosh, he passed that test last week really easily. So
but you got to go another 1/8 of a mile.
Yeah,
that ain't very far.
Well, and it doesn't. He was getting better as they got to the wire. That was the thing.
Well, he galloped out too. I would think he could go another 1/8.
I told
another month to get bigger.
I told Jared, I would be like not really on him if he did like what Rock Your World did last year. Just gate to wire, got way out ahead, and they couldn't catch him. Sometimes you see that performance, and it's like, yeah, that could have been a little cheesy, right? So if he gets out 3 ahead, goes gate to wire, wins by a length, yeah, we'll see. He did it so professionally for his second start to sit off horses. I don't know, man. Because usually you see a horse coming out of a sprint to a route for the first time, and they showed a ton of speed in sprints.
Yeah,
they're going to really show the speed in the route, right? Yeah. Not the case with this horse. So
well, I would have liked to have seen him do that in a 12-horse field like the Bluegrass. Then we'd have a better idea. I'll give people credit on that one.
Yeah,
when there's just 6. You don't get in much traffic.
Problem is that is a huge myth that's a factor. Logically, you would think that's a factor.
Okay.
The evidence says that is not a factor.
Okay.
Whatsoever. That's what I'm saying. And look it up. I mean, how many horses you beat on your way to Kentucky has really never mattered. It really just hasn't. So, but I get logically why people would think that. It would make sense. Well, they beat bigger fields, and now they're in the biggest field. It just hasn't mattered.
All of them are, though.
Yeah. So,
not just Taba.
That's true. That is
it's all true. Of them.
All right, let's get to a few comments before we go on to the next one. Dennis agrees that it's not good for the horse, and I don't really think anybody's arguing that, but I just think the reality of it is.
Why is it not good for the horse?
Well, you're going from a 6 furlongs to a 1.8 to a 1.25 miles.
He's got a month. I don't buy that. I just don't buy that. I'm sorry.
I love it. Papa Dude comes from the D. Wayne Lucas school of thought.
I do. That's why you got the damn things. You run them.
I love that. I absolutely love
that. That horse will be fine. That is total bullshit from the younger generation of pussies. That's what it is.
All right. Russ says
crap that says you can't pitch more than 7 innings. You blow out your arm. We got more of these damn pitchers hurt now than we ever did. Bob Gibson used to pitch 13 innings and throw 200 pitches a game and never hurt his arm. Total crap.
All right. Russ says we can just never get away from Baffert, and that's true. He's still around, but it's Yaffert now, not Baffert.
That's what I hate the worst. That's what I hate the worst.
Let's see. 4 weeks to overanalyze everything. That's right. Block Party said, like I said, Forbidden Kingdom fold. Taba would become the Rock Your World of last year, all hype. SA Derby does not have the winner this year. Well, it's interesting. The San Diego Derby winner did not win it, but the runner-up won it last year, sort of. I guess maybe not now. I don't know how you guys want to describe that. Vinny says, he doesn't think we overrated SCA. Still ran a huge race, just got beat by a better horse on Saturday. Still would be dangerous in the Derby with some of the other main speed dropping out. And that's right. The main speed has dropped out. Classic Causeway and Forbidden Kingdom will not be there. Messi all of a sudden could be on the lead, and maybe those tactics will help him kind of turn the tables on Taba here. We'll see.
Well, if I was Classic Causeway's owner, I wouldn't run. I mean, that horse stopped. That's when you don't run a horse, guys, when he stops.
All right. Trish Smith, I think this is kind of interesting question, Trish. And I kind of thought the same thing. We kind of talked about it.
This is good. Yeah.
Yeah. Amongst our friends, if Yaffert wins, do you think TV will say anything regarding this situation? How do they handle that?
That's going to be interesting. Yes. That's something to really watch for this Kentucky Derby coverage.
Yeah.
How are they going to handle that?
Oh man, people are really happy with you here. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, sorry, Trish. I just saw these other comments. I don't know, Trish. I really don't. I
I don't
think
either.
they will definitely comment on it.
Well, I do too.
Yeah, because Baffert equals ratings, and I can say that even with our YouTube channel, which is very, very small compared to obviously national television ratings. Baffert does equal ratings. As the sun shines on my old Kentucky home, and Papa Dude will keep going with comments.
The sun hasn't shone all day.
Stephen Voto says, "Tell him, Papa." Jared says, "Well said, Papa Dude." Vinny loves the hot takes. Dennis says, "Back in my day, younger generation, a bunch of you know what. Love it, Papa Dude.
Well,
The hell with the analytics."
Here's the thing. If that was my horse, okay,
Yes.
and somebody asked me, "Are you going to run him in a Kentucky Derby?" The answer would be not only yes, but hell yes. I may never have one like this again.
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
rest him for the Preakness if he gets his ass beat. That's what I'll do.
Yeah, Darren Spies Sipes, sorry, I guess that's Seeps, I don't know. Says Minnie said Justify was super talented, but not enough seasoning. I say don't make the same mistake with Taba. He's special like Justify. I agree. But yeah, they'll place maiden special weight to grade 1 to the Derby. It's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy whatsoever.
No, nobody's saying that.
Magic Carrot says, "Let there be light." All right, let's see. What's that? Foul hatred has no place in here. I don't know what that means. Okay, so here's a question before we move on. Why the jockey change for Secret Oath? I was going to say that earlier. Luis Saez now writing Secret Oath. Would you like to take that comment?
Well, don't you think that was going to happen? Maybe did he think he rode the one in the Bluegrass poorly?
I would think he rode the one in the Arkansas Derby and in the Bluegrass poorly. Yeah. I think it's a great move. I think if you're trying to win a huge race, get a big time jockey.
I don't think there's any question you have to.
Yeah, I love Luis Saez. Get the board. It's a huge upgrade. So I'm happy for that. Last one. Will Bob Baffert be a spectator at Churchill Downs? No, he's banned from the Churchill Downs grounds, so he
can't even set foot on the grounds.
No.
Okay, but he'll be in a helicopter up above.
Yeah. The airspace he can be in.
Yeah. So unless they don't allow any air traffic over Churchill Downs, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Correct. All right.
He's going to be in Louisville, I bet.
I would say so. Okay. Magic Carrots is going to lead us right into our next race. Let's go where the grass is blue. Keeneland and the Bluegrass Stakes. And boy, it was not a beautiful day at Keeneland on Saturday, but it was still a hell of a lot of fun to be at Keeneland. A great place. So happy to be there. And so happy that Zandon, my top pick, comes storming home from last, cussing Flavien Prat up the backside. "What are you doing, Flavien?" And then he gives a masterful ride to get Zandon home over Smile Happy. Flavien Prat will be on Zandon, I guess, in the Kentucky Derby, unless we get some kind of shocking news. What were your thoughts on the Bluegrass, Papa?
Well, I went back and watched that a while ago, and I don't know that we're giving him enough credit. What do you think? He had problems galore and came out of nowhere.
So
I don't know how good the field is, but still, that was a pretty impressive win, I thought.
Yeah, and Steven comes up and says, Pratt Jockey of the Year, Zandon wins a big one. Well, listen, so like I said, I picked Zandon, I bet Zandon. So obviously, who am I watching in the Bluegrass? Zandon. I'm just focused on him the whole time. And like I'm into the turn and he's last, and I'm just like, well, it's gonna be fairly embarrassing. I've told all these people Zandon's gonna win this race and he's not gonna run. And I focused on him the whole time, man. And Pratt got it. He was weaving in and out, got him on the rail, saved all the ground. And all of a sudden they make the turn and he's in third. And I thought, oh my God, he's in great position. Now it's just up to the horse. He's just got to finish. I had confidence he would. Chad Brown gets those horses to fire at the Bluegrass, and bam, he just took off. Was able to gobble up a Smile Happy late. That was thrilling to watch that.
Yeah.
thinking you're going to lose, and then he's going to run, and then bam, wins it. So
Yeah.
as far as Zandon for the Derby, I don't like betting closers in the Derby to win. I just don't. But there's two good factors if you like him. Number one, I just said he made a huge move on the turn. If you are a closer in the Derby, you have to make that move on the turn. So he can get himself in position before the stretch. That's huge. So I like that about him. Also, Flavien Prat rode Country House to a second place finish that ended up being the winner of the Kentucky Derby after the disqualification. Why did Country House get second in that race and then DQ'd up to first? He changed tactics with him a little bit. He set him a little bit closer to the pace. Flavien might be able to do the same thing here with Zandon. There was no way you could have thought Country House was going to be in the position he was in the Kentucky Derby. Flavien might be able to do it again with Zandon. So Flavien Prat is number one. Why I think, he creeps into the top five. He's number three for me. And number two, that move on the turn. I loved that he was able to be athletic enough to put himself in position. So if you like him, I don't really like betting closers to win the Kentucky Derby. I think this one's got a shot.
It was an impressive race. When I didn't really think it was when I watched it, live, sitting back and watching. Man, he just came out of nowhere, and had all kinds of trip problems. But you're probably right on the closers thing. But he may change tactics too. We'll see.
It's just very tough, very, very tough to win it. Avail Play says Zandon would have won the Risen Star with Prat. That would have been very interesting to see. Zandon did not get a good trip in that race. I agree. I also think if you study Chad Brown and what he does with 3-year-olds, they usually pop on that one right before. He may have just kind of gave him an out that day, but he certainly did not get a good trip in the Risen Star. So you're saying the Derby winner will come from off the pace? No, I'm not. No, I still think it's going to be Taiba, Epicenter, Messier, one of those three. As Stephen Vota said, I will bet Emmanuel every time. I ride and die with the ship. Should be good, damn it. So here's the deal on Emmanuel. Jared owns Emmanuel in the fantasy league. So we're kind of watching him, right? And he got a perfect trip in this race. He shouldn't have lost. If he was a good horse, he wouldn't have lost this race. They're moving him to the turf. His sire is more than ready. Maybe that's where we're going to see him. Maybe that speed on the turf will be a little bit tougher to run down than the speed on the dirt for Emmanuel. Maybe he'll like that surface. Did you think Emmanuel was going to win that race at any point?
No, I didn't, but I thought he ran good. I don't think he can be disappointed in the way. And the same thing with Smile Happy.
Mm-hmm.
No, he ran all right.
What are your thoughts on Smile Happy? Yeah, that's back-to-back second-place efforts against pretty good horses.
Probably have seen his best because McPeak normally peaks early.
You mean McPeaked?
Yeah. No, I don't. I can't bet a horse by him. Not in a race like this.
No.
The mystery to me is he gets great horses. So he's fooling somebody. I mean, he's got good horses.
I think he's in charge. I think he's in charge of buying a lot of horses.
I think he is too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's awful. I just don't see him winning big races like this. And
he did with Swiss Skydiver, but she was very, very, very good.
Oh yeah. Oh, Rattle and Roll.
Yeah,
now,
Rattle.
Okay. You guys that are worried about the horses, were you worried about Rattle and Roll running 3 times in 5 weeks? I don't hear anybody talking about that.
No, he was the wise guy horse.
Yeah, that's total bullshit. Why aren't we talking about that?
Dennis says McPecker is the worst trainer ever. McPecker. I've never heard that. Ever.
I don't think he was worried about Rattle and Roll. What did he run, like a week ago?
Yeah.
A week ago?
Let's see.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
At least he believes in running them.
Let's see. Any more here before we go on? Table will be long gone in the stretch before anyone will make a move. That's very possible, and that could be what happens with Zandon, Modonegal, horses like that. Taiba just might gallop away from him, and it's just too late. This is a good question from Darren. Does Zandon's finishing time of 150.35 give you pause? I feel like I can give a somewhat intelligent answer about this being there. No, it doesn't, because what happened, Darren, when we first got there, that track was a nightmare. Now, by the time they ran that one, it was certainly better. It got better about 2 races before the Bluegrass, but I still think it was pretty sticky, pretty heavy. The weather was really rough early on in the day at Keeneland. So no, it doesn't give me pause. I think it was just a track that just was playing a little bit slower that day. It was kind of brutal, just to be clear there. So Magic Care said, should we give a Derby chance for Tis the Bomb? No. What if the track is sloppy? We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, you can't start worrying about stuff like that. Not
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. Trish, I agree with this. She says, I love Tis the Bomb. I really think he's a turf horse, but part of me thinks he could pull an upset. No, I don't think. Well, maybe in the Superfecta, Trish, I could agree. Yeah, in the Superfecta. But I do not think this horse is a win candidate. I just don't. All right, let's move on. We got one more to talk about. We'll go to Aqueduct. We'll go to the Wood. Believe it or not, Aqueduct was better weather than Keeneland. We were pissed. Aqueduct's like 60 degrees and sunny. Keeneland is snowing and 35, 40 degrees. But we saw a good performance, I thought. Mo Donegal rallies late to catch early voting. What did you think of the Wood?
Well, I think this was the most disappointing performance by a horse, and that's Morello. Wouldn't you not agree?
Yeah, Morello, a complete disaster in this race. So here's what happened with him.
He just didn't get out of the gate.
He broke dead last, and I guess he hit his head on the gate as well, and he also lost his shoe. So everything that could go wrong went wrong for Morello, and he was out of it early. And then it became really a 2-horse race. Could Mo Donegal run down early voting?
Yeah, I was impressed. Again, this horse came from back, and that was a great race. But I was impressed with early voting too. He just couldn't quite hold on. He tried to wire that thing, and he got pretty darn close. That was a heck of a race. I think this horse is decent, don't you? I mean, I think he's top 5 or 6, probably.
Yeah, I do too. I really think this horse, early voting, he kind of had things his own way, but he proved to be stubborn. Like Mo Donegal really had to dig down deep to catch him, and he did. Mo Donegal and Zandon are kind of, the same type of horse, right? The difference for me is I think Zandon's a little bit more athletic, but then I think when they get in the stretch, Mo Donegal's a little bit faster. Like he really levels out and goes and gets him. But I think it takes him just a little bit longer to get going. The Churchill Downs stretch will probably be good for Mo Donegal. Let's just hope that he gets in some kind of position to make a move. I thought he looked good. I would say Zandon and Mo Donegal are 2 horses coming from off the pace this year that are a little bit more solid than what we've seen in the past. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I was very impressed with him.
Yeah.
Pletcher will have him ready. You got to look at him in this a little bit. Again, see where the post is, see where the other posts are for the rest of them, and then start analyzing this. To me, I don't even analyze the Derby until I see the draw on Wednesday. I have an idea of who I like, but boy, like if Taba gets the one draw, all bets are off, So you just don't, as D. Wayne says, it's the most unfair horse race in the world, and it is.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And speaking
of
throwing a shoe,
toughest to win.
Yeah. Speaking of throwing a shoe, Barbara Road also lost his shoe in the Arkansas Derby as well, still ran second. So,
Morello ran like they forgot to shoe him at all.
Yeah, I think Kelby von Hemel shoed Morello, and that's why he had no shoes on at the end. That's
shoot him about 3:00 in the morning after a night out in Hot Springs. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly? Yeah. After that, he went out and shoot him after the big chill night. I was out with him, and he forgot to nail the shoes in. I think that's what happened with Morello. So he was not good. He was not good at all in that race. And Barbara Road is kind of that clunk up, get second or third type horse.
Yeah, he is.
Don't like his chances in Kentucky. Much, much, much tougher competition than what he's been facing down there at Oaklawn. Yeah. Those horses, Oaklawn, as much as I love it, Oaklawn, they're not very good. And we saw Ethereal Road running the Bluegrass, and he didn't do much either. So, all right, now let's go do some comments on this one. Dennis says, I apologize to Joel Rosario, said some bad things about him. Surely not, Dennis. But he got the job done. I got off early voting because I thought the 2 and 4 were in the race to pressure him, but they didn't, and I got scared. Yeah, that was the thing. I thought he would get some pressure, and he got none. So
Yeah. Speaking of jockeys, I want to mention this before I forget it. One of you and I's favorites, I'm pretty sure you saw this, David Cabrera was injured seriously Friday at Oakland. Great guy.
Yeah.
Very, very nice person, up and coming jockey who does extremely well at Oakland and Prairie Meadows and Remington. Was unconscious for a while. He is doing better and he's home now. So if anybody connected with him is listening, we're sending out our best thoughts for David.
Yeah, David Pereira. That's good. Glad you mentioned it. A guy that we follow all the time, and runs in our kind of tracks as well. You know, you see him at Remington Park a lot. So hopefully, he's doing okay. You know, I think he's okay. It's just,
he's doing okay.
I don't know as far as when we'll see him back again.
I think they said he'll be out for a while. Yeah. Probably at least till the end, middle of May, I think.
Yeah, so maybe Remington Park is where he kind of gets going again later on in the year. So yeah, too bad. He was having a great meet at Oakland.
Oh, he was,
man, and he's a hell of a rider.
And a lot of times we don't realize how tough a job riding these animals are. I mean, it's tough. It is. And if you've never been to a track and been right down on the rail when these 10 animals go flying past you and hear the noise, it's like being in a tornado. It's just like thunder, and they're all bunched in there together, and here these little tiny guys are trying to control them.
Yeah. And as Dennis said, Will said, Ravage Grapefruit and Magic Carrots also sending up well wishes. As far as back to this kind of talk, Nick Feldman says he's late to the show, but Taba all the way in the Derby for him. He's on Taba now.
Well, Nick, there's a lot of people that just doesn't think he ought to run in the Kentucky Derby, and you missed that part, so you might want to go back.
You might rewind it, and maybe we'll bleep that out for for the tape show.
But it's not good for the horse, Nick.
May not be good for your ears to hear what Papa Dude had to say about the current society of youngsters, but yeah, go back and check that one out.
It's not the youngsters' fault.
No,
it's the people in charge of the youngsters' fault.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't have any children. I would just screw them up.
You're very smart.
Magic Carrot says he's waiting for Mo Donegal in the Belmont, and that he'll be tough in that race, I think, without a doubt.
Hang on there, Sylvian. We're getting to the hockey here in a little bit.
Yeah. Sylvian says, where's the hockey? All right. Darren says, your opinion on the best way to judge these preps, speed figures, competition faced, internal fractions.
No, I want to hear this.
I think speed figures are important if you're looking at Timeform US speed figures. That's what I do. Competition phase, certainly. But I think the biggest thing is use your eyes. If you look at the competition and you say it's really weak, and then a horse wins by a half, well, probably not that great, right? You look at the competition like we said, oh, it's weak in the Louisiana Derby, and Epicenter, stocks the pace and just blows them out. And the speed figure comes back strong. I don't necessarily think, well, he didn't face anybody, so that's no good. If you're not facing a good field, you need to win by several lengths in these last ones, right? So I think we rated the Santa Anita Derby first because speed figure came back the highest. The competition, I think Messier was a better horse than anybody else that was running that day, and he got beat by Taba. So I think that's how you do it. You use your eyes, you use logic, and you look at the speed figures. That's the three things I've done for years. So that's the best I could say.
And don't you agree you can overanalyze a little bit too much sometimes?
Yeah, the Kentucky Derby certainly is the race where you overanalyze the most. Mm-hmm. And that happens every year and everybody. And like I said, it's four. That's why I said on social media, this is the worst 4 weeks of the year.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what you do, you're going to hear everybody's theories. And that's just because people are excited. The preps are over, and you got 4 weeks to talk about it. It's great for us. It's great for content. We got 4 weeks worth of content for you guys. Sure, it's definitely overanalyzed. To me, guys, this Derby is really not complicated. Yeah. Epicenter, Taba, Messier. One of them's going to win. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
And then after that,
and then
Sandin, White Barrio, You know,
And you
maybe.
got to look at the post. You got to look at the post.
Well,
you know.
sure. And that's why I'm not saying this one's for sure going to win. There's 3 that got
Exactly.
that should win. The rest of them are kind of probably fighting for that 3rd spot.
I got another thing. How come at the Bluegrass all the horses had white? I don't like that when they do that. I can't tell them apart.
Yeah, nobody likes that. They do that
I
at
hate that.
They do that at Keeneland for Grade 1 races, I think.
I feel sorry for the announcer. Of course, he's
Yeah.
got binoculars, you know.
Yeah, he's got that. Well, a good announcer memorizes the silks, not the
That's
numbers.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But it's tough when they all have white on.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get to a few of these comments here. What's your favorite Derby Oaks bet all weekend?
You
What
go.
do you
Go
think
for it.
will have most value to bet the heaviest?
Ooh, that's pretty tough. This
The
early.
last part of it, wait, I can't answer because you don't know how that's going to set up and where they're going to position the bets, the cards, all that. As far as favorite bet of the Derby, I love the Derby Oaks double. I think that's so much fun because if you get the Oaks, especially this year, I've got a strong opinion on the O, Kathleen O. So if you can get that, man, all night, you're waiting for that Derby. You know what the payouts are going to be. That's the most fun thing to bet. As far as the value, we'll see on that, Trish. That's a question we will definitely answer, though, as we get, where we know the fields and stuff like that. But as far as having fun, that Derby Oaks double is always a ton of fun. Let's see. Nick says, I know it's a different race, but I saw today that Lucas said, oh, yeah, Luis Saez will get them out on Secret Oath. Yes, we kind of discussed that. We think that's a good thing for sure. Let's see if there's anything else we can get to here. Let's see. Why do the Mandela prospects come up with throat issues? Good question. And he said Omaha Beach, same thing. Yeah, good question. Good question. Bad luck is how I would just kind of phrase it. I don't think it's anything he's doing. I think it's just bad luck. But yeah, Omaha Beach struggled with that as well. No question about that.
I think that's just luck, like you
Yep.
said.
Jockeys are tough SOBs, no doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt. We like to cuss them. It's easy to cuss them, but they are tough people. There's no doubt about that. Let's see. Anything else
The
here?
grapefruit says Rosario picked up the mount on
Well,
Secret.
the grapefruit is wrong. It was Luis Saez picked up the mount.
Unless there's been another change.
Oh, Dennis, he's always crazy. He says he loves it when they do that. What are you, crazy? It makes you pay attention to the silks. Dennis, come on.
Dennis, but you're big time. Okay. I'm just sitting watching on TV.
Nick also agrees the Oaks Derby double going to be awesome. The O, Nick, Kathleen O. I know Magic, Samich, and I both on Kathleen O in that race. So, we'll see.
That's going to be a great race too.
The Oaks is going to be fantastic.
Loaded.
Fantastic. Grapefruit. Rosario is not on Secret Oath. I promise you. It's Luis Saez. Oh, there you go. You realize it now. Okay. What was
grapefruit? What are you drinking there, grapefruit? There's a lot of difference between Saez and Rosario.
Yeah, they're two different guys.
That's pretty funny.
They're both small though, grapefruit. So
yeah.
All right. How could Mo Donegal run 147.45 fastest at the distance in all 3 peps? Who does these buyer figures? So the problem is every track plays different. And I guess, I don't make buyer speed figures, but my guess is the Aqueduct track was playing very fast. And that's why he was assigned a lower figure. I know that probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but I don't really know. I haven't really dove into the buyers. I know with the time forms, they got equal. Him and Zandon, I think, got equal numbers. So, and he brings pace into the equation a little bit, plus a little bit of his, kind of I don't know what the word is. He kind of messes with the numbers, how he sees it and how he saw all the races play that day. So. But yeah, that is the thing. All tracks play different, and times. That's why we don't just list times, because the Aqueduct track was playing faster than the Keeneland track and
So
the
much
Santa
goes,
Anita track.
so much goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
Very complicated.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Steven says, remember when everyone was hating on this 3-year-old class? I love it on Derby and Oakside. Yeah, I think we've got 3 pretty good. Well, I'd say 4 or 5 pretty good horses on the Oaks and Derby side. I think
We've got a lot
really
of
good race.
We got a lot of interest, no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Any thoughts on the big turf race on Derby Day, the Old Forester Turf Classic? Again, let's see who's in it. That's number one. I don't really know. Last year, that was Jared and I's biggest cash on the guide, hitting the exacta there with, God, I can't remember the horse's name now. I loved the horse too. Oh gosh, the Chad Brown horse and the Todd Pletcher horse, Colonel Liam, and man, how am I forgetting that horse's name? I talked about him forever. The Klarovich horse. Anyway, hit the exacta with that one. So we'll definitely get into that once the fields come out for sure. Time only counts when you're in jail, Sylvian says.
Good point.
Yeah, grapefruit love that. All right. Any final thought? Well, let's do this. Yes, gosh, Mark, I'm an idiot. Domestic Spending was the horse. Yeah. So
you only watch about 1,000 horses a day, so we're going to cut you a little slack on
I'm going to be honest, forgetting that horse's name, that could signal a problem. I probably need to go to the doctor to get checked out because I loved that horse. Who knows where he's at? He's gone. He's on the back of a milk carton. Domestic Spending. Nobody knows where he's at. Yes, Chris. Domestic Spending. I know, guys. I've let everybody down. I feel awful for forgetting that. And a guy like Nick and Sylvia, who's been around us forever, got to be shaking their head like this guy only talked about those horses or that horse for 6 months and he just forgot his name. So, all right. Any final thoughts on these races? Well, let's do this. Who is your Kentucky Derby pick? All things being equal as of right now.
I've got to watch Epicenter a little bit more. I mean, that's what I'm rooting for because I like Asmussen. I'd like to see him get that Derby win. I've not seen a horse any more impressive than Taba just from the naked eye. But they may decide it's not good for the horse, so we'll find out.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard Andy say. I mean, I don't
know. Mark's pick is Nest for the Oaks and Epicenter for the Derby. Nick says, Mark,
here's my theory on that. That's a dumb name for a horse.
Nest.
Can't pick it. Sorry.
Mark. Kathleen. All right. Nick says Taba 1, Epicenter 2, and everyone else can have the rest. Nick, I literally said that in our meeting today. I said there's 2 horses that can win this thing.
That's who I would take. Yeah.
And it's Epicenter, and everybody else can have the rest. Now, I will say this. If the speed keeps just deteriorating, I think they'll change the tactics on Messier and put him in the front. And I think he'll have a shot. I think horses like Classic Causeway and Forbidden Kingdom dropping out will give Messier a better shot. So I'll throw him in that 3rd spot. So let's see. Rasmussen can't do it. Some just can't. Just not in the cards. He has lost with some really good horses.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I think he can do it, though, Stephen. I just think he hasn't done it yet. So
he's won a few races.
Vale says, "Hey, if you think that's the dumbest thing Andy Serling's ever said, you haven't listened to too many Andy Serling conversations."
Well, Vale, you haven't listened to the show much because I've mentioned Andy several times. I'm not a fan.
Dennis says Epicenter for him for now. He also thinks price-wise, he likes Barber Road. Ravage Grapefruit will like that, and maybe early voting too. He should be in a metal helmet, Failplay says. Oh boy. Dennis says Oaks-wise, he likes the O, Kathleen O. He likes Echo, Zulu, and he likes Secret Oath. That is funny. Okay, let's see. Papa Dude, my only rule is I bet trainers who weigh 350 pounds or cough Romans.
I'm kind of that way too. I go that route. But Nest is a dumb name.
Yeah. Nest is a dumb name. Ness
Yeah.
is a dumb name.
It's a dumb name.
Oh, I like this comment from Nick. He says, I wouldn't put it past Mike Smith, talking about Taba, to get the lead with Taba. He knows he's got the best source. Get him out front and let him eat, just like Matoli used to do. Let him eat, right, Nick? Yeah,
He's going to have to convince him, no, that's good for the horse.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
I think Mike's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, I do too. All right. Final question.
Oh, God.
Worst racehorse name ever.
Oh, I had one. I just hated it. You put me on the spot. I thought the Pizza Man was stupid for.
Oh no,
it was funny.
That was.
Come on, give me one, Aaron. You.
Caged Bear.
Yeah, that was pretty dumb.
The Caged Bear. No. Soup and Sandwich. Pretty dumb. Totally agree.
Yeah, that's really dumb.
Kofefi. I agree. That was a terrible name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have one for next by Thursday. It's hey, Vale, you just did the smartest thing you've ever done.
Yes, Vale. Yes, just subscribe. That's right. We're buying a blimp, baby. We got to get these subscribers up. Yeah, no, Pizza Man. He was great.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. That one was.
Stupidest name, Kathleen O. But we get to do this every time we say it. So.
Two names that confused me to make, and this is one was Kate's Main Man. I always thought that was a girl.
Yep.
And the other one is Jackie's Warrior. I always said,
yep,
confuse that with being a girl just because Jackie sounds like a girl's name, kind of.
Yep. I totally agree. There was one called My Drunk Uncle or something.
Oh, like yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah, that was dumb.
I can't remember the one I used to tell you. It was a decent horse, and I said that horse he can't win this race. His name's too stupid.
I hated Patch. I hated that name. Yeah, I know he had one eye or Patch, but I didn't like him. No. Yeah. Viewership with an upstick. Maybe it's the horse talk. I think it is. Therapist. Yeah. Yeah. My wife knows everything, and the wife doesn't know. Yep. Skippy Long Stockings. That was a terrible name, or Skippy, whatever the horse's name was.
Yeah.
Who farted?
Oh my gosh.
Some like it hot brown. Yeah.
That's a good one.
That was a good one. You just mentioned Nest. Yep. Let's see. What are popular
feelings about that?
Oh God, Darren, we don't
need the time for that.
Vicky chiming in. He said we crushed with the racing news picks on Florida Derby Day. Nice bankroll for the Keeneland meet. Now, thanks, Aaron. You're back. You bet, Vicky. Hope you're doing well today as well. Haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks. Gotta catch up sometimes.
I'll just summarize this about Baffert. I just don't understand the guy. Okay. I don't understand it. His legacy is ruined. I mean, he was a certain Hall of Famer, and I just don't know why you do this kind of stuff. To me, the honorable thing would have been to just retire. He doesn't. Surely, a guy, he doesn't need the money, and I just think I don't understand what makes a guy like that tick. I've always admired him as a trainer. I think if you ask me, he's one of the best ever. You got to say that.
Well, if you're going by the stats, absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't understand the man. I just don't.
So here's the deal: you end the 2008 Triple Crown season, and you've now won the Triple Crown for the second straight time, for the second time.
Right.
Hadn't been done in forever. You did it with Pharaoh, then you did it again with Justified. There's nothing on you. Like, people are skeptical, obviously, but you have no positives, nothing. Why would you risk it?
Yeah,
I forward after that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
and I guess his ego is so big that I would think if he's ever going to be allowed on the grounds of a racetrack again, I would just feel like every eye on that racetrack is looking at me in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't stand that as a person. That's just not the way I'm cut. I'd be embarrassed. How about that? It would be embarrassing to me to think everybody thinks that of me. And I got caught doing something I shouldn't have been doing. I would just retire and move off into the sunset. But some guys aren't like that. So
Yeah, I think he wants to get back and clear his name, but it's just
we got to
never
get
gonna
on this
happen.
hockey here, Aaron.
I know. Let's see.
But this is great. So
UAE Derby, I don't think so. We'll see though. Japan's winning everything. Maybe he can come do it. He won't be on my tickets, but does any part of the Baffert's explanation jive with you?
no,
Like why he got the positive now?
no, not at all.
Yeah, and his ego got in the way. Should have
You're the
taken.
best trainer in the world. You don't need to cheat. You just don't chance it.
Yeah, especially when you're getting great horses. Like take Life is Good for example. He got that horse taken away from him, but Life is Good with the Pletcher, and he's running just as good. So I fully think, and people will hate this, but a lot of the Baffert horses are good. But they're just good, period, and that's it. So that's where I'm at with that. But
I do think he's a great trainer.
I think he does a really good job getting them in the right spots.
And I'll say this too. I've never seen him say anything controversial as far as when he's interviewed about horse racing.
Yeah.
He always says the right thing. I saw him do something at Oakland one year that I'll never forget. And Aaron, you know what I'm talking about. He never comes to Oakland, but for some reason he did that year. He had the heavy favorite in the Arkansas Derby. He got beat. Kind of an obscure trainer that had been around a long time by the name of Jinx Fire won that race.
Mm-hmm.
And Baffert hung around down on the rail until that race was over. And they went to the winner's circle and had all the celebration and everything. And he waited on Jinx Fires to come over there, and he shook his hand. And I never will forget that. I thought that was a classic sign of sportsmanship. He did not have to do that.
Well, no other trainer did that.
No. And that impressed me. So,
and by the way, there were no cameras or anything like that.
Oh,
Basically,
no.
you and I were the only guys out there watching. Everybody else was gone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know it's just one of those things. I think this comment is where I stand with it. His ego got in the way, and
yes, absolutely, me too.
And he's ruined himself.
Yeah.
And again, whether you believe he's guilty or not, his reputation is taking a huge hit.
I agree totally. Yep.
Okay, well, any other thoughts, or should we go to basketball and hockey real quick before we get out of here?
Let's do it real quick.
All right, let's go to basketball. I've got it pulled up here. Tuesday, which is tomorrow, if you're listening here on a Monday, we've got the what would we call these? The play-in games, I guess.
Play-in games, yeah.
Okay, so the Cavaliers and the Nets.
I know the rules too.
Okay, explain the rules to everybody.
All right. We have our first game there, the Cavaliers and the Nets. Brooklyn is the 7 seed, and Cleveland's the 8. It's very simple. Whoever wins this game is the 7 seed. They do not have to play another game. So whoever wins this will be the 7 seed in the East, and they will play Boston in what are really the playoff games. These are just to get into the playoffs. Now, the loser of this game is not necessarily out. Okay. So on Wednesday night, the 9 and 10 teams will play. And that is the Hornets and the Hawks. The Hawks are the 9 seed. The Hornets are 10. The game will be in Atlanta. The loser of that game is out. They're done. The winner of that game will play the loser of the Brooklyn, whoever the heck they were playing game. Who was it?
Cavaliers.
Cavaliers. So the winner of the 9-10 will play the loser of the 7-8. And the winner of that game will be the number 8 seed. And they will take on the Miami Heat when the real playoffs begin. So that's how that works. And I was very confused on that last year, but it kind of makes sense when you think about it. They're rewarding the higher seeded 7 and 8 with only having to win one game to get into the actual playoffs because they earned it. One's a 7, one's an 8, and the 9 and 10 has to win 2. So I think that's pretty fair when you think about it. But these playoffs are really all right. Mark is he hits the nail on the head.
Mark says, and the loser of those games will compete in a 2-man sack race to determine the 5th pick in next year's draft. I'm so confused.
Well, sorry, Mark. I thought I explained that pretty well. But anyway, I guess you weren't looking at the graphics. The bottom line is whoever wins that Cavaliers Nets game will be the 7th seed. It gets complicated on who will be the 8.
Okay, so let's approach it like this.
Okay.
Who do you think will end up being the 7th seed? The Nets or the Cavaliers?
The Cavaliers are playing absolutely god awful.
Okay.
And they have fallen off. They were like a 5 2 or 3 weeks ago. Brooklyn is playing much better because Durant's back. And it's that simple. When the best player in the game is playing, you're better. I think they win. Now, the thing with the Nets, defensively, they are terrible. They really are. So that makes them sketchy. But how'd you like to be the Boston Celtics and think you were going to have to play Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in games that they really care about in the first round? So that would be, I'd be rooting my ass off for the Cavaliers if I was Boston. I think they win. In this next game, you got the Clippers and the T-Wolves. And again, that's 7 and 8 in the West. The winner moves on to play Memphis in the actual playoffs. This one, another team that's a sleeper are the Clippers because they're healthy. Paul George is back playing, and they finished the season winning 5 or 6 in a row. They're hot. They're playing really, really well. That's a team you don't want to play. Timberwolves, they're hot and cold. They can score, but they don't know how to keep the other team from scoring. So I think the Clippers win this game.
Okay, so you get the Clippers and the Nets and that 7 seed. Now, talk about the 8 seed.
To go to Minnesota.
Yeah. So you talk about the 8 seed now.
Okay.
So now the Cavaliers and the Timberwolves drop down to play the winner of the Hornets, Hawks, and then Spurs, Pelicans.
Right. The loser of the 7-8, let's say it's Cleveland, will play the winner of Charlotte and Atlanta. Okay. They make the 9-10 seeds have to win 2 games.
Yep.
And I think that's fair. So if Cleveland loses, then they will play the winner of the Atlanta-Charlotte game for the 8 seed. And Charlotte, I'm going to say Atlanta's going to win that game, and because it's at home. And Charlotte will be eliminated. So Atlanta then would play Cleveland for the right to play the Heat in the first round of the playoffs.
Do you think the Hawks or Cleveland will win that game if it happens?
I'm taking the Hawks because Cleveland's just playing so bad.
Okay, so you've got the Hawks coming out of this 8-9 and actually, or excuse me, not 8-9, 9-10 and actually getting an 8 seed. So you got the Hawks, and what about over in the West here? Spurs, Pelican, and
okay.
Go ahead.
All right, I think the Clippers will beat Minnesota, although that is on the road.
Yeah,
they'll have to go on the road to do it because they're the 8 seed and Minnesota's the 7. Spurs, Pelicans, neither one of these teams should be in the playoffs. You can see their records, but somebody had to get in there. They're the 9th and 10th best records in the West. Overall, the West is pretty strong, but at the bottom, it's not. That game is in New Orleans, so I'll take New Orleans to win, but I don't think they beat the Clippers. I think the Clippers will come out. Well, wait a minute. They play Minnesota. I like New Orleans. I think they're playing pretty good. New Orleans started the season 3-17, and they've got it to 36-46. That's pretty impressive. And their best player is Zion Williamson. He didn't play all year. So this is a team to watch, I think, next year. They made a good run.
All right. So you've got the Pelicans as the 8 seed, Clippers as the 7 seed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so let's see. Those games will be done. When do the actual playoffs start? Will that be Saturday, probably Friday or Saturday?
So, yeah, because let's see. There's 2 games on Tuesday, 2 games on Wednesday.
And then the last games will be Thursday.
I'm thinking, though, they give them a day off and they play Friday.
Okay. Yeah. And then the playoffs would probably start on Saturday. Let's see if they've got
I think the playoffs start on Sunday.
Yes, the playoffs start on Saturday.
Okay.
Start on Saturday. So what we'll do here, we've given you kind of, and let's see, Thursday, the play-in games, the final ones. It looks like they're going to give them Friday off, and then Saturday you'll come up with the first round. So what we'll do, we've given you the play-in games here tonight, and then on Saturday, on our Thursday show, we'll start previewing those rounds for Saturday. So
and they're going to be some good ones.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a very very competitive playoff. I don't think there's I guess the Suns are kind of a standout, but There's going to be
tell
some
you-
competition.
Yeah, I tell you, teams playing well at the right time again is Golden State. The key there is Steph going to be able to play. I would hate to have to beat them. I really would with him. There's something about Phoenix. I really like them. I just don't know how tough they are.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to be a finesse team to me. And then the Grizzlies have faded, but they rested all their players. And I know that their superstar Morant is hurt, and that's a big key for them. Is he going to be healthy when the playoffs come around? They were playing fantastic. They lost 3 out of their last 4, but they didn't play their guys.
Yeah,
I don't understand that because you get a whole week off anyway. I don't know.
All right, we'll go over to the NHL as well. Still got a little ways to go before they start their playoffs. We've got about 2 or 3 weeks left, but we'll quickly talk about the NHL. It seems to me we're kind of getting a little bit, where we know who the teams are going to be.
Yeah.
10 games left here. Obviously, Florida, Toronto, Tampa's not missing. They're going to be in there as well. Boston looks like they're going to be in the first wild card spot, and then looks like it's going to be Washington, obviously, in the next one.
The East is pretty. It's settled. Who the 8 teams are.
If it started right now, Washington would play Florida, and then Boston would go over to the other side and play Carolina. That's how that would start. And then you'd have Toronto, Tampa, and then the Rangers and Pittsburgh. That could be some changing. Like I said, it's pretty settled. As of right now, who do you like coming out of the East?
Ooh, this East is loaded. When you look at the points that these teams have, you got 4 teams that are over 100 points with 10 games to play. That's pretty phenomenal. There's going to be some really good teams get eliminated.
Yeah.
In the first round in these games. Florida, I like because they just score goal after goal after goal. They are lethal on offense. The key to them is sometimes you get in the playoffs, they can shut you down. And how good are they defensively? They're okay. They're not great. I like them. I really like Toronto, but they just can't get out of their own way in the first round. And it scares me. Tampa's not playing very well, so I'm a little bit down on them. And Carolina's not playing very well. Then you got the Rangers. I'd go Florida, and then I think I'd take the Rangers second, but anything could happen in the East. It's going to be some great games.
Yeah, I think it's going to be as well. You talked about Florida and scoring goals. They scored 302 goals on the season. I was quickly kind of scrolling up while you were talking. I think that is 28 goals more than the second team, which is Colorado. That's unbelievable.
You talking about Florida?
Yeah, and they're plus 88, the goal differential.
Well, they've scored, I think Toronto is second in goals scored, so they've scored 25 more goals than the team closest to them. They can put the puck in the net. And sometimes, Aaron, you know this, when you're scoring a lot of goals, you give up a lot of goals too.
Yeah, for sure. And they've given up their fair share without doubt, but not just a ton. So, I really like that Florida team. I've liked them all year. So, all right, to the Western Conference we go. And there's no questioning who our team is. That's the St. Louis Blues, and that's Mark's favorite team as well. They said we're clicking right now. Thomas, Tarasenko, Busnevich, and then Husso in goal. I thought, listen, Husso's the goalie. I'm not arguing. I thought it was nice to see Binnington actually play well the other night. They need him at some point, I think.
You can't play every day. And, I've said this. I agree, Sylvian. In the East, anybody can beat anybody. There's no question.
Yeah, those teams are really, really close. Yeah.
In the West, it's different. To me, Colorado's head and shoulders above anybody. But sometimes they don't play well in the playoffs either. So they are so consistent, and they just bring it every night. And they're a cinch for the number one in the West. The Blues, I've said this all year, and I think their front line is better than the Stanley Cup team. I'm talking about their forwards, and their centers. I think they're better. And, I was looking today. Look how many goals the Blues have scored. Yeah. They're the 4th best goal-scoring team in the league.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that. so they can put the puck in the net. And like Mark was saying, that line of Thomas, the Thomas line, and Tarasenko, they're on fire. And then when you can throw out Shin, O'Reilly, and Perron, that's a pretty good line. And the key, of course, we all know is the back end. How good is it going to play, and what kind of goaltending are they going to get? And that's goaltending wins in the playoffs. Husso's been great. He's played extremely. I don't know where they would be without him.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God he's played well. You're absolutely right. I was thrilled to see Bennington play well in that Islanders game. And early in the game, when the Blues were not skating, they were still hungover from the Minnesota game the night before. He kept them in it. And that's what a goalie has to do.
That's right.
And, if you make a couple of key saves and it stays 0-0, and then you go score, the game turns around. But if you give up those 2 goals, and that's what he's been doing, you're out of it. I'm sure you probably now in the West, we have 5 teams out of the Central that are in the playoffs, and only 3 from the Pacific. But this is so jumbled up, it can change at any time. The Blues are sitting there tied for second with Minnesota. What the Blues want to do is to stay second or third. You don't want to. I'm going to ask you this, Aaron. Would you rather, if they slip to say fourth, and they would play Calgary, would you rather play Calgary or Minnesota?
Minnesota.
I would too, because the Wild don't play very well in the playoffs.
The Blues have been able to beat Minnesota too consistently over the year after year. They've beaten Minnesota.
Right.
Now, here's the deal: if you finish second or third, your next opponent's Colorado, and that's a problem.
Well, aren't you? Isn't that going to be your next opponent anyway?
No, if you go over into the Calgary side of it, if you get that wild card, you stay over there and you would play Edmonton or Los Angeles. So your first round opponent would be very tough, Calgary. Your second round opponent, Edmonton or Los Angeles, that's pretty weak in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so this is the deal. Calgary, as of right now, going to have to play Nashville or Dallas. I'm going to tell you something. That's going to be a hell of a series.
It is.
They could get beat in the first.
They could, and they're another team that has not played very well in the playoffs.
No,
they've had real good records before and lost in the first round. You got to take that into consideration. I think the Kings are going to fall out.
Do you think Vegas will be the third seed?
I think so. When you look, the Kings have 74 games. They've played more games than anybody.
Yeah,
got to take that in consideration. Now Vegas is not playing very well. Is the only thing.
No. Vegas is teetering, as Magic Carrot says.
Yeah. I just kind of think they may catch them.
Yeah.
And I don't think Vegas is very good at all. Edmonton's playing pretty well. I know you don't like them very well. They're playing good. They made that coaching change right around midseason. They've been playing pretty well. Dallas is faltering. They have been losing.
Yep.
And that's good because I hate them. I do. Vancouver still got a shot.
Yeah.
They'll have to win them all, probably.
Yeah.
Good enough to do that. But they've hung in there pretty good. So I think overall the East is better than the West, but I think the West has the best team.
Yeah, Colorado's certainly going to be tough. That's going to be a lot of fun. A couple of comments here. Sylvians really likes the way that the Wild play, thinks they're tough, and then Dennis said, hey, when the Wild get hot, they get smoking on fire.
That's right, you betcha.
Yeah. Vegas lost its soul once Reeves and Fleury left. I kind of agree. That's a big loss. Fleury was kind of the guy in that.
He was.
So, and Trish says, "Go Blackhawks, maybe next year."
Well, Trish, I like you a lot, but Chicago, we're Blues fans, and so I'm sure you don't like the Blues, and we don't like the Black. They can stay where they are. That's fine.
Sylvan says Pacific very soft. I agree. I think it's the worst of the 4 divisions. Yeah.
See, I kind of think the Blues would beat Calgary. I kind of think they would for that very reason. I don't think Calgary is real good. Although when you look at the goals against, I didn't realize how stingy they are. Blues went up there and scored 6 on them
Yeah.
a week or so ago. But anyway, it's the hockey playoffs are going to be absolute. That first round in the East, some of those games are going to be classics.
I think we'll see every one of those series go at least 6.
Yeah.
There's not going to be blowouts. The West, Colorado, whoever they play, good luck. But these other ones will be good. So.
Well, you look at let's see, Florida plays Washington, right?
Mm-hmm. As of right now, yes.
Yeah, as of right now, and that's looking like that's what that's going to be.
Well, now Washington has 2 games in hand.
Well, that's right, they do on Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is stumbling. They're not.
But what if it's Pittsburgh and
Florida? My God,
I mean that would be good too.
I'm just saying, you got a team up there with 108 points.
Yeah,
and you're going to have to beat either the Penguins or the Capitals in the first round.
You get Crosby or Ovechkin in the first round.
Yes,
yeah.
Not fun.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, and they all have. To me, Carolina is really stumbling. They're not playing very well right now. But we got 10 games left. We're going to see these teams start making the run there and getting hot at the right time. So.
Yeah, this time next week when we do the show, it'll be a totally different tune, maybe. So
it changes every night in the West.
Yes, it does. Yes, it is. And like I said, the East is always a gauntlet. Yeah,
if you'll remember, Aaron, this time last week, I think, the Blues were in Edmonton, weren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was on Friday. They were in Edmonton on Friday. And this time a week ago, we were really doubting the Blues to even make the playoffs.
You were doubting the playoffs. I was doubting their chances.
Okay. And so they got way behind in Edmonton. They pulled Bennington. They came back and they got a tie.
Yeah.
And then they had to play Calgary the next night, and they beat them.
Yep.
And then they came home and won 4 straight last week, and look where they are now.
Yeah.
And that's how fast it can change.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very comfortable now, but they got to keep it going. They can't.
And they finished 7 of the last 10 are on the road, beginning in Boston tomorrow night. So.
Yep.
And then I think Boston comes to St. Louis on Thursday night. So I think they have back-to-back with Boston. I may be wrong on that, but I think so.
Yeah. For sure. And I think Boston, I think the last time they were in Boston, I was there. I'm pretty sure. No, I wasn't.
I think
they go. No, they didn't go there last year. Yes, I was there the last time.
And they haven't played there this year because they just played them twice.
Right. Yes, I was there. We got shut out 3-0. It was horrible. Let's see. The Blues are tightening up their sloppy play in their own zone. Husso has to be the guy. Benny looks better on rest. So we'll see if the Blues can kind of pull it out here. So, all right, we've done a full show here. Dave Barisa says here to talk baseball. Show Aaron what it feels like when he goes down the AEW rabbit hole. I did see some highlights of my favorite wrestler, Stone Cold, and McAfee at WrestleMania. Yes, Stone Cold came back for WrestleMania. Yes, so I'm sorry, no baseball today, but we will get there for sure. We had too much horse racing today. That was the problem. So
baseball's played 3 games out of 162. So
yeah.
I was tickled. I used to take Sports Illustrated, and every year some team will get off to a 5-0 start. And every year they do a big feature article on this team that gets off to a 5-0 start with 157 more games to go. And they're going to win the World Series, and they'll end up losing the next 5.
Halteran, 2 words, Wheeler Yuta. Oh, Magic Carrots. Me and Mr. Magic, host of the Magic Mike Show, have been gushing over Wheeler Yuta. So yes. Incredible match. Wheeler Yuta and FTR Magic Carrots, I should say. That's our guys right now. So all right, Papa Dude, you got anything else before we sign off here?
No, I'm kind of exhausted after that rant, kind of took it all out of me tonight.
I wanted to get to this. Art Spalding, very good commenter and follower. He's on the Baffert side of things. He thinks he's a good guy. Really doesn't think that, he thinks maybe he's been, let me find that other comment. He said he's kind of, thinks maybe Pete is behind it. Doesn't make any sense, the positives that he's getting. I think, you can think whatever you want, Art. I think the sad thing is that, it's just it's just unfortunate that the legacy is tainted no matter what happens now. So, yeah. And I know if you like him, you're probably very upset about it, and I get it. And I'm sure it's probably hard for you to get on social media of any kind because, boy, it is rough on the guy. No
yeah, if he was my favorite trainer, I would feel the same way.
Yeah.
Probably. If that was Asmussen, I would probably be defending him.
Yeah, that's the thing. You follow a guy, you like a guy, and then that happens. But too many positive tests, Art. Too many.
Yeah, and I just don't think you pick on the face of your sport.
Yeah,
that's my feeling on it. Why would you pick on the guy that everybody knows who he is? I mean, in a sport that needs recognition, like horse racing does.
Yeah. So,
but
tough time.
You're right. Yeah.
All right. That's it. That's all we got on that subject. We're not doing it any longer. We're talking about other stuff. Okay. If you don't have anything, I don't either. We're gonna go. This has been a great show.
Great show. And Aaron, I do want to mention real quick. You were telling me before we went on the air how the YouTube channel is exploding.
Yes.
We want to thank everybody that may have subscribed to that or have some small part in it. The Racing Dude gang is thrilled with what's going on over on the YouTube side.
Yes, we're very happy. We absolutely are just blown away by the support of all of you guys. We always thank you for listening to this show, but man, yeah, it's nice to see so many subscribers. And I think, like I said, I had somebody subscribe when we were watching the show. So yeah, I really just can't thank everybody enough. It's just the support we've gotten from day one has been really, really good. Not just YouTube, but just the site. And yeah, we thank everybody. And listen, we're going to just keep pumping out content. And honestly, it's just going to be more and more. We had a meeting today and I said, look, you got any thought on anything, put that on YouTube. And we're really going to try to give our subscribers all that they want and more. So yeah, thank you guys. And listen, this show, man, the comments have been fantastic.
Oh, fantastic.
The last 5, 6, 7 weeks, just so many of y'all.
Yep. And our viewership is going up and up and up. And
yeah, we cannot thank you enough because obviously it's not going up unless you watch. And so we really appreciate everybody for sure.
And we're thinking about doing some videos ourselves. Once Aaron gets done, settle down just a little bit from the horse racing, we're going to do some stuff with the sports thing too. So this is going to continue to improve and get better as we go along.
Yeah, and as we go along, we're this is another thing. Dennis says he needs to be a guest. Yeah, we need to have you back on at some point, Dennis. And like I said, the more the merrier is how it's going to be. Right now with the Derby, it's crazy, but yeah, we're definitely going to get on that as well. So again, guys, thank you everybody for watching today. Everybody for subscribing. Even if you don't subscribe but you watch, thank you. It doesn't matter.
You bet.
We love everybody. And when is the AEW Racing Dudes channel coming out? That's how you lose subscribers, probably, unfortunately. Magic Carrots, but maybe someday. All right, guys. But speaking of AEW, Dark is on, and I got to get out of here. I got to watch.
You got to.
All right, guys. We will talk to you guys on Thursday.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.
We'll see y'all.
This has been a presentation of RacingDudes.com, your destination for all things horse racing and sports betting. Whether you want free winners, expert insider picks, up-to-the-minute trackside weather reports, or podcasts and videos for bettors of all skill levels, never make another wager without visiting the Racing Dudes. First,